Marcus was a broke single father with nothing left to lose. When 3 bullets meant for a hated billionaire found him instead, he should have died. But those bullets didn't end his life, they saved it, bringing him love, family, and a second chance at everything. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. The rain hammered against the cracked window of the small apartment. Marcus sat at the kitchen table, staring at 3 envelopes. Red letters screamed from each one, "Final notice." His hands trembled as he opened them. The electricity would be cut off in 2 days. Eviction warning. Emma's medical bills had gone to collections. "Daddy?" A small voice called from the bedroom. Marcus quickly stuffed the envelopes into a drawer and forced a smile. "Yes, princess." 8-year-old Emma wheeled herself to the doorway in her small wheelchair. Her big brown eyes sparkled despite everything. "I'm hungry." Marcus opened the refrigerator. 1 egg. Half a loaf of bread. A small container of milk. He had eaten nothing but coffee for 2 days, saving every bit of food for Emma. "How about French toast?" he asked, keeping his voice cheerful. "My favorite." Emma clapped her hands. 3 years ago, the accident had taken everything. A drunk driver had crashed into their car. Marcus's wife, Sarah, died instantly. Emma survived but lost the ability to walk. The medical bills crushed them. Marcus lost his job because he needed to care for Emma full-time. Now he worked night shifts as a security guard, barely making enough to survive. After Emma finished eating, Marcus's phone buzzed. Another text from the landlord, "Pay by Friday or you're out." That night, Marcus tucked Emma into bed. She looked up at him with innocent eyes. "Daddy, why do you look so sad?" "I'm not sad, princess. Just tired. Mrs. Chen said we might have to move." "Is that true?" Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Maybe. But wherever we go, we'll be together. That's all that matters." Emma hugged him tight. "I love you, Daddy. I love you more than all the stars in the sky." After Emma fell asleep, Marcus sat in the dark living room. He counted the money in his wallet, $43. Rent was $2,000. He had no family to ask for help. No friends left. He put his head in his hands and allowed himself one moment of despair. Then he wiped his eyes and made a decision. Tomorrow, he would find a way. He always did. The next morning, Marcus dropped Emma at the Free Community Center. He headed to his day job, cleaning offices in a fancy business district. As he mopped the marble floors, wealthy people in expensive suits walked past him like he was invisible. Around noon, Marcus heard shouting outside. A crowd had gathered near the building entrance. He walked closer and saw a woman in a wheelchair surrounded by angry protesters. "You destroyed our neighborhood," one man yelled. "My family lost everything because of your company," a woman screamed. The woman in the wheelchair sat perfectly still. She wore an elegant black suit. Her face was cold and composed. But Marcus noticed something in her eyes, a flash of pain quickly hidden behind ice. "Victoria Sterling ruins lives," someone shouted. Marcus recognized the name. Victoria Sterling. The billionaire real estate developer. She had made her fortune buying old neighborhoods and building luxury towers. Hundreds of families had been displaced. The city hated her. Security guards tried to push back the crowd, but the protesters pressed forward. One man raised his hand. Marcus saw the glint of metal, a gun. Time slowed down. Marcus didn't think. He just moved. He threw himself in front of Victoria's wheelchair. 3 shots rang out. The first bullet hit Marcus in the shoulder. The second struck his chest. The third grazed his side. He fell to the ground, blood spreading across the white marble. People screamed. The shooter ran. Marcus lay on the cold ground, his vision blurred. The last thing he saw was Victoria Sterling's face above him, her cold mask finally broken, her eyes wide with shock. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you do that?" Marcus tried to speak, but blood filled his mouth. His last thought was of Emma. Who would take care of his little girl? Marcus opened his eyes to bright white lights. Machines beeped around him. His entire body burned with pain. A nurse rushed over. "Mr. Chen. You're awake. Don't try to move." "Emma," Marcus croaked. "My daughter. She's safe. She's in the waiting room. You've been unconscious for 4 days." 4 days of Emma not knowing if her father would live or die. Marcus tried to sit up, but pain exploded through his chest. The door opened. Victoria Sterling wheeled in. She looked different, smaller somehow, more human. She couldn't move anything below her neck. A skiing accident 2 years ago had left her paralyzed. "Leave us," Victoria told the nurse. When they were alone, Victoria wheeled closer. "Why did you save me? You don't know me." Marcus was quiet for a moment. "I saw a person in danger. That's all. You have a daughter. You could have died and left her alone. For me. For someone the whole city hates. My daughter's been in a wheelchair since she was 5. People stare at her. Some avoid her. But she never becomes bitter. She still sees the good in everyone. When I saw you in that wheelchair, I didn't see a billionaire. I saw a person who needed help." Victoria's jaw tightened. She looked away. "The hospital bills are paid. All of them. Your old bills. Your daughter's medical expenses, everything. I don't want your money." "Too bad. It's already done." Victoria turned her wheelchair. "Your rent is paid for the year. You're also hired. Personal security. I need someone I can trust. You've proven you're willing to take a bullet for me." "I can't. I have Emma. Bring her. I have a large house. She'll have her own space. A private tutor. Physical therapy. Everything she needs. We don't need charity. This isn't charity. This is me paying a debt. You saved my life. I need you. Keep me alive, and I'll make sure Emma has everything she needs." She left before Marcus could argue. 2 weeks later, Marcus and Emma stood in front of Victoria's mansion. Emma's eyes grew wide. "Daddy, it looks like a castle." The house was enormous. Helen, the house manager, showed them to their suite. Emma had her own bedroom with a huge bed and windows overlooking a garden. She wheeled around, laughing with joy. "Daddy, I can see flowers from my window." That evening, Victoria called Marcus to her study. "Tomorrow, I have a meeting downtown. People will try to hurt me again. Your job is to make sure they don't." "Why me? You could hire professionals." "I had professionals. They all failed. You succeeded. You didn't hesitate. That's what I need." Marcus nodded slowly. It was a business arrangement. He could live with that. 3 months passed. Marcus learned his job. He accompanied Victoria everywhere. People still hated her. Protesters appeared constantly. But Marcus also saw a different side of Victoria. She worked 18-hour days. She never complained. She never showed weakness. Emma bloomed. She attended a special school Victoria paid for. She had physical therapy 3 times a week. She smiled every day. For the first time since the accident, Marcus saw his daughter truly happy. One evening, Victoria surprised them by joining them for dinner. Emma was nervous at first. "Tell me about school," Victoria said. Emma brightened. We're learning about oceans. Did you know there are fish that glow in the dark? I used to swim. I was training for a triathlon when I had my accident. I used to run, Emma said softly. I was the fastest kid in my class. Victoria's eyes met Emma's. Something unspoken passed between them, an understanding. Do you miss it? Victoria asked. Every day. But Daddy says I'm still me. He says what matters is what's in here. Emma pointed to her heart. Victoria looked down at her plate. When she looked up, her eyes were bright with tears. Your father is a wise man. After dinner, Emma said, I like Miss Sterling. She's sad like me sometimes. But she's trying to be strong. Marcus kissed her forehead. You're very smart, princess. The next day, chaos erupted. The man who had shot at Victoria, released on bail, appeared at City Hall with a gun. Marcus pushed Victoria behind a pillar and covered her body with his. Police tackled the shooter. When it ended, both were unharmed. Marcus was shaking with rage. He was released. That's insane. Victoria's face was pale. His lawyer got him bail. Money and connections. That evening, Victoria showed Marcus files on her computer. Photos. Documents. Letters. 10 years ago, I was different, she began. Young, ambitious, hungry for success. I bought properties. I tore down old buildings. I destroyed communities. She showed him photos of demolished neighborhoods. Families being evicted. Children crying. I told myself I was improving the city. But the truth is, I was destroying lives. I only saw profit. Then I had my accident. Lying in that hospital bed, unable to move, it changed me. I understood what it meant to be powerless. I started thinking about all the people I had made powerless. So you changed, Marcus said. I tried. I started a foundation. I funded affordable housing. But people don't forget. To them, I'll always be the heartless billionaire. And maybe they're right. They're not right. People can change. You've changed. You gave my daughter hope when we had nothing. Victoria cried. Silent tears ran down her face. I don't deserve your loyalty. Maybe not. But you have it anyway. A week later, Marcus received a threatening letter, you saved the wrong person. Now you'll pay. Victoria hired a private investigator. They discovered the truth. The attacks were orchestrated by Richard Cross, a former business partner of Victoria's father. 20 years ago, Victoria's father had bankrupted Richard's company. Richard had spent 2 decades planning revenge. He organized the protesters. He paid the shooter. Now he wanted to destroy Marcus too. He's coming after Emma, Victoria said. We need to end this. Victoria's investigator gathered evidence, bank transfers, recorded calls, testimony. But it was dangerous. If Richard knew, he might accelerate his plans. 2 nights later, 3 armed men climbed the mansion walls. Marcus locked Emma in her room and activated security. He fought them silently through the halls. He disabled all 3 before police arrived. One confessed that Richard Cross had hired them. This was the proof they needed. Victoria held a press conference. She revealed everything about Richard's revenge plot. She showed the evidence. But she also confessed her own past mistakes. She showed photos of families she had displaced. She read letters from people who had lost their homes. I was wrong, she said clearly. I hurt people. No amount of money can undo that damage. But I see you now. I acknowledge the pain I caused. And I will spend my life trying to make things right. A reporter asked, what about Marcus Chen? Victoria looked at the camera. Marcus and Emma came into my life when I had given up on people. Marcus didn't save me because I'm rich. He saved me because he's the kind of man who protects others, no matter the cost. He's a hero. And I'm grateful every day. Social media exploded. The narrative shifted. Richard Cross was arrested. His revenge plot had failed. That evening, Marcus found Victoria in the garden. They sat in silence. Finally, Marcus asked, "What happens now?" "I'm going to work on affordable housing. Really commit to it. Try to help families who need it. Emma is happy here. She's thriving. And you still need protection." Victoria turned to him. "You could leave. Take Emma somewhere safe." "Emma told me something. She said Miss Sterling is family now. And we don't leave family." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know how to be family. Neither do I. But maybe broken people can build something new together." Victoria reached out with her hand. Marcus took it gently. It wasn't much. But it was everything. 6 months later, the Sterling Foundation opened affordable apartments for displaced families. Victoria attended the ribbon cutting. Emma helped cut the ribbon. Cameras captured the moment, a paralyzed billionaire and a child in a wheelchair, creating hope together. That night, Victoria made an announcement at dinner. "Emma, I want to legally adopt you. If something happens to your father, you'll need someone. I want to be that person." Emma looked at Marcus. "Daddy?" Marcus's eyes were wet. "It's up to you, princess." Emma wheeled to Victoria and hugged her. "You're already my family." Victoria hugged her back. For the first time in years, she felt complete. But Richard Cross escaped from prison. He sent one message: "You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you." The mansion went into lockdown. 3 days later, Richard appeared in Victoria's study with a gun. "You destroyed my life," Richard shouted at Victoria. Marcus heard the scream. He ran and saw Richard pointing the gun at Victoria. "Then shoot me instead," Marcus said, stepping forward. "What makes you so loyal to her?" Richard asked bitterly. "She gave my daughter hope. That's worth protecting." "She's a monster." "No. She's a person who made mistakes and is trying to fix them. Just like you could." "It's not too late, Richard. I have nothing. No family. No money. No future. Her father made a business decision 20 years ago. Victoria was a child then. You lost everything because you spent 20 years on revenge instead of rebuilding your life." The truth hit Richard hard. His hand shook. The gun lowered. "My children won't speak to me. My wife left me. I'm alone. And it's my fault. I wasted my life on hate." Marcus stepped closer. "It's not too late. You can still change." Richard looked at the gun. Then at Victoria. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He dropped the gun. Police rushed in and arrested him. When they were alone, Victoria broke down. Marcus held her as she sobbed. "I was so scared. Not for me. For Emma. For you. You won't lose us. We're here. We're family." At Richard's trial, Victoria spoke at his sentencing. "Your Honor, I don't want vengeance. I want healing. Richard spent 20 years consumed by revenge. I'd like to propose community service. He'll work with the Sterling Foundation, helping families. He'll see what it means to build instead of destroy." The judge agreed to a reduced sentence. Richard wept as he thanked Victoria. That night, Emma asked, "Daddy, why did Miss Sterling help the man who tried to hurt her?" Marcus thought carefully. "Because she knows what it's like to be trapped by mistakes. She knows everyone deserves a second chance. A year later, the Sterling Foundation had built 3 housing complexes. Richard worked there, helping families. He had reconnected with his daughter. One spring evening, Victoria called Marcus to the garden. She looked nervous. "These past 2 years have been the happiest of my life. Because of you and Emma. I care about you, Marcus. More than I should. And I needed you to know." Marcus knelt beside her wheelchair. "Victoria Sterling, you're the strongest woman I've ever met. And I've been in love with you for months. Emma loves you. I love you. We're already a family. I'd like to make it official." He pulled out a small box with a simple silver ring. "Will you marry me?" Victoria laughed through her tears. Yes. The wedding was small and private. Just Victoria, Marcus, Emma, Helen, and close friends. They held it in the garden. Emma was the flower girl, throwing petals from her wheelchair. She wore a beautiful blue dress and a crown of daisies. As they exchanged vows, Marcus thought about the journey. 3 bullets that should have killed him. Instead, they had given him everything. "I promise to protect you," Marcus said. "Not just from danger, but from loneliness. From ever feeling unloved again." Victoria's voice was strong. "I promise to love Emma as my own daughter. To love you with everything I am. To build something beautiful from our broken pieces." When they kissed, Emma cheered. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better, it was real. Emma was 13 now. She had become an advocate for disability rights, speaking at schools. She wrote a blog that thousands followed. She was confident, kind, and unstoppable. One Saturday, Emma was reading a letter. "Daddy. Aunt Vicky. It's from a girl named Sophia. She's 9 and she just had an accident. She can't walk anymore and she's really scared. What will you tell her?" Victoria asked. "I'll tell her the truth. That some days are hard. But life isn't over. Being in a wheelchair doesn't make her less. Different can be beautiful. Can we invite her to visit?" Emma asked. "Of course," Victoria said. "In fact, let's start a program for children who've had similar experiences." 3 months later, the Sterling Hope Center opened. Children who had lost mobility came from everywhere. Emma volunteered every weekend, mentoring younger kids. Sophia was one of the first visitors. She was small and scared. Emma wheeled up with a warm smile. "Hi, I'm Emma. I know you're scared. I was too. But I promise you, it gets better. Everyone stares at me now," Sophia said. "They're just not used to it yet. You're still you. The chair is just how you move around. It doesn't change who you are inside." By the end of the day, Sophia was smiling. 6 months later, Sophia sent a video of herself swimming, laughing with joy. One evening, Marcus received an unexpected call. It was James Miller, the drunk driver who had crashed into his family 5 years ago. "I don't expect you to forgive me," James said. "I've been sober for 3 years. I got out of prison last month. Mr. Chen, I'm so sorry for what I did. I saw your book. I read about Emma. I'm sorry I destroyed your life." Marcus was silent. Old anger flickered. But then he thought about Victoria. About Richard Cross. About second chances. "Come to dinner tomorrow night. 6 o'clock. Victoria was shocked. "Are you sure? Emma taught me everyone deserves a chance to make things right." Emma overheard. "Is he coming here? The man from the accident?" "Yes. You don't have to see him if you don't want to." Emma was quiet. "I want to meet him. I want to see if he's really changed." The next evening, James arrived. He was thin and nervous. When he saw Emma, he broke down crying. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Emma looked at him calmly. "Did you mean to hurt us?" "No. Never. I was drunk and stupid and selfish." "Are you still drinking?" "No. I'll never drink again. I go to meetings every day. I volunteer at high schools, telling kids about drunk driving. I can't undo what I did, but I'm trying to stop others from making the same mistake." Emma studied him. Then she said, "I forgive you." James looked at her in disbelief. "How?" "Because holding on to hate hurts me more than it hurts you. My dad taught me that. And my Aunt Vicky taught me people can change. You made a terrible mistake. But you're trying to be better. That matters." They sat down to dinner. James talked about his recovery, his work with students. Victoria shared her own story of redemption. "How do you live with the guilt?" James asked quietly. "By turning it into action," Victoria replied. "Every day, I try to help someone. The guilt never goes away. But it becomes fuel for doing better." James kept his promise to visit monthly. He became part of their family, a reminder that redemption was real. 2 years later, Emma turned 15. Victoria and Marcus took her to the Sterling Medical Research Center. Dr. Sarah Park greeted them. "Emma, we've been working on a new treatment for spinal cord injuries. Stem cell therapy and intensive physical therapy. We'd like you to be part of the trial." Emma's eyes widened. "You mean I might walk again?" "Might. There are no guarantees. But there's a chance." Emma looked at her father, then Victoria. "What do you think?" "It's your choice, princess. Whatever you decide, we'll support you," Marcus said. Victoria added, "Whether you walk or not, you're already complete. You're already perfect." Emma smiled. "I want to try. Not because I think I'm broken. But because I want to see what's possible." The treatment was grueling. 3 months in, something miraculous happened. Emma felt a tingling in her toes. She wiggled them. The room erupted in cheers. Marcus sobbed with joy. Victoria's eyes streamed with tears. Progress was slow. Over a year, sensation returned. She regained some muscle control. With braces and a walker, she could stand. Taking her first step was one of the most emotional moments of their lives. But Emma still used her wheelchair most of the time. Walking was exhausting. She didn't care. The point was having more options, more possibilities. On Emma's 16th birthday, she announced, "I want to start a foundation. The Emma Chen Foundation for Young People with Disabilities. We'll fund treatments, therapy, equipment, and support programs. I'll provide the funding," Victoria offered. "No," Emma said firmly. "I want to raise it myself. I want people to donate because they believe in the cause." "How?" "I'll write a book. My story. I'll do speaking tours. I'll work for it." Emma spent 2 years writing her memoir, Rolling Forward, Finding Strength in a Wheelchair. The book became a sensation. Her speaking tours filled auditoriums. People listened with tears in their eyes. The foundation raised millions. They funded treatments for hundreds of children. They provided wheelchairs to families who couldn't afford them. One day, a young boy named Carlos came to the Hope Center. He was 7 and had been paralyzed in a swimming accident. He was angry, refusing therapy. Emma sat with him in the garden. "I know you're mad. I was mad too. It's not fair." Carlos shouted. "You're right. But Carlos, being angry won't change anything. You're supposed to live. Really live. Find new dreams. Discover what you're capable of." "But I can't do anything anymore." "Can you think? Can you feel love?" Can you make people laugh? Can you be kind? Carlos nodded slowly. Then you can do a lot. The wheelchair is just one part of you. Over weeks, Carlos changed. He started therapy. He made friends. 6 months later, his mother sent Emma a video of Carlos playing wheelchair basketball, grinning. "You saved my son," the mother wrote. "Not just his body, but his spirit." Emma Chin Sterling stood at a podium in front of thousands. She was 43, a renowned author and advocate. Her foundation had helped over 10,000 children. Today, she was receiving the Humanitarian Award from the United Nations. In the front row sat Marcus, now in his 60s with gray hair but still strong. Beside him was Victoria, elegant and fierce even in her 80s. They held hands. Emma began her speech. "When I was 8, I was in an accident that left me paralyzed. I thought my life was over. My father could have given up. Instead, he fought for me every day. Then one day, he saw a woman in a wheelchair being attacked. He didn't think. He just acted. He threw himself in front of 3 bullets to save her. That woman was Victoria Sterling. Her voice grew stronger. They taught me the most important lesson: love is action. Love is sacrifice. Love is choosing each other every day. My parents built a family from pain and loss. They showed me that being broken doesn't mean being worthless. It means having the opportunity to be rebuilt into something stronger. Today, I accept this award for everyone who has ever felt broken. For every parent who fights for their child. For every person who chooses love over hate, mercy over revenge, hope over despair. You are the real heroes." The audience rose in a standing ovation. Emma looked at her parents through tears of joy. Marcus was crying openly. Victoria smiled radiantly. After the ceremony, they went to their favorite Italian restaurant. The owner still remembered them and gave them the best table. "I'm so proud of you, Princess," Marcus said, raising his glass. "We both are," Victoria added. "You've become everything we hoped for and more." Emma looked at the 2 people who had given her everything. "I'm only here because of you. Because Dad took those bullets. Because Mom opened her heart. Because you both taught me what real love looks like." They clinked glasses together, 3 lives intertwined by fate, sacrifice, and unconditional love. 3 bullets. 1 moment of courage. A lifetime of love. That was their story. And it was beautiful. They clinked glasses together, 3 lives intertwined by fate, sacrifice, and unconditional love. Later that evening, they returned to the mansion, the same house where their journey together had truly begun 2 decades ago. The garden had grown wilder and more beautiful with time, just like their family. Emma found her parents sitting under the old oak tree where Marcus had proposed so many years ago. The moon cast silver light across the lawn. "Can I tell you something?" Emma said, wheeling closer. "When I was 8 and we first came here, I was so scared. I thought Miss Sterling was just a cold, rich lady who felt sorry for us. But then I saw how she looked at you, Dad. Like you were the bravest person in the world. And I saw how you looked at her, like she was worth saving, even when the whole world said she wasn't." Marcus reached for Victoria's hand. "She was worth saving. She still is. You both saved each other," Emma continued. "Dad, you were drowning in debt and despair. Mom, you were drowning in loneliness and guilt. And somehow, 3 bullets brought you together and gave you both a reason to keep fighting." Victoria's eyes glistened. "Emma, do you know what the best part of my life has been? It wasn't making my first million. It wasn't building my empire. It was the day you called me Mom for the first time. I never thought I'd have a family. I never thought anyone could love someone like me. Someone like you." Emma smiled. "You mean someone brave enough to admit their mistakes? Someone who spends every day trying to make the world better. Someone who taught me that my wheelchair doesn't define me, but my actions do. They sat in comfortable silence, three people who had found each other against all odds. The night was peaceful, filled with the sound of crickets and the rustle of leaves. Marcus broke the silence. You know, sometimes I think about that day. What if I had walked past? What if I had been too scared to act? But you didn't, Victoria said firmly. You chose courage. You chose to see me as a person worth protecting. That changed everything. Those 3 bullets were supposed to kill you, Dad, Emma said thoughtfully. Instead, they brought us life. They brought us each other. They brought us hope. Isn't that incredible? How something so terrible became something so beautiful. Marcus pulled both his girls close. The bullets didn't change everything, Princess. Love did. Love is what transforms pain into purpose. Love is what turns tragedy into triumph. As they sat together under the stars, the Sterling mansion glowed warmly behind them, no longer a symbol of cold wealth, but a home filled with laughter, second chances, and unconditional love. 3 bullets. 3 lives. 1 extraordinary family. That was their story. And it was beautiful. This story is dedicated to every single parent fighting for their child, every person living with disability who refuses to give up, and everyone who has ever chosen love over hate. You are seen. You are valued. You are heroes,